Hello, all, and welcome to our Thrive Park Presents Speaker Series. Today, we are excited, and I'm especially excited, to welcome Erin Neff, a certified life coach, a coffee curator, and she's the author of The Effortless Mocktail. Erin is, and I know because Erin is also my friend, I know that she is passionate about helping people create meaningful, joyful rituals through zero proof drinks. Might be coffee, might be mocktails, thoughtful ingredients, and intentional living. So, joining us from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, please welcome Erin Neff.
Diane, thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for letting me share my passion with your people here today. A little bit about me and kind of how this whole thing was birthed is a couple of years ago, I decided to remove alcohol from my life. There were a few things that led up to this, and I was told to cut back. Ultimately, I decided to kind of leave that and an old chapter. And in this process, I did what I think a lot of people do. It's like, okay, well, now what do I drink? And so the first thing we go to is sparkling water and lime. And that's great for a couple of days, honestly. The next thing we do is we go to a bar and we order a mocktail. And what I find happens is we end up with basically juice and Sprite or juice and sparkling water. And those are also nice replacements, right? It makes it look like I'm drinking something. The problem is there's really not a lot of flavor there. It's
And a
not
lot of
complex.
sugar.
Yeah, and there's just not that like flair that you want to have. So what did I do? I went to Google and I said, Google, how can I make a beautiful like mocktail that I enjoy at home? Because when you're leaving something in the past, something that has been like a ritual, like me, I wanted a glass of wine every night. I needed something to replace that. So Google gave me beautiful recipes, and I went and bought everything, and I made a lovely mocktail, and it was delicious. And then I had 15 ingredients sitting on my shelf, and they sat there, and they sat there, and they sat there because of two things. Number one, I didn't want to have the same drink every night. And number two, not I didn't know how to take all those random ingredients that I just spent like 20, $30 on and make them into something else. And before I went and got another recipe, I thought, why don't I just start experimenting with what I already have in my refrigerator? How can I make really delicious drinks without spending a lot of money? And also, I want to have zero waste because let's face it, I have moved all over the US and now I live in a different country. It's the second international relocation I made. You know how many spices and herbs and specialty things I bought that I gave away? A lot, a lot. Um, so this is how the effortless mocktail was born. And what I want to share with you today are the elements of how to make an excellent mocktail at home with ingredients you likely already have. I think being able to make something with simplicity and make something delicious is important because if you make something and you don't like it, you're not going to repeat it. So let's find some things that we can repeat today. All right. We are going to dive into this here. So our three main ingredients is a sweet, a sour, and an aromatic or bitter. And what I want to do is break down what this might look like in your refrigerator and also review a few staples to keep on hand to help you build these at a minute's notice.
Taking notes.
All right. So first is our sweets. And if you just want something super simple, super fast, buy the syrup at the store. You know those little pumps that you have at a coffee shop where it's like vanilla and raspberry and blackberry and caramel. If that's what's easy for you, buy one that's your favorite and keep it on your counter. If you want something that's a little bit more natural, think about some coconut sugar. Think about muddling some berries. Add a little coconut sugar to those berries and really sweeten them up if you want. Every time I have a jam jar that's like empty, I've scraped everything out of it, that becomes a mocktail. That is a sweet. and we don't waste those things. So I build with that jar. Think about fruit purees like mango and peaches, things like that that will create really great flavors. You can also use honey, agave, date or maple syrups. Those are also more natural ingredients that you can use as a really fast, sweet item to build your drink with.
And
And then we
something you
have
might have already in your pantry.
absolutely. And then we might have fresh juices. You have a little tiny bit of orange juice left in that container. That's going to be the sweet for your mocktail. It's not enough to drink, but it's enough to combine and make something. Orange juice, grape juice, apple juices, watermelon juices, all of those make for a great sweet element. Let's move to the next element, which is our sours. So sours look like
Mhm.
limes, lemons, grapefruits. Hibiscus tea has that very vinegary kind of tartness to it. Balsamic vinegar. I made a balsamic and fig mocktail the other day that was delicious. And it was born because I looked in my fridge and said, oh, that fig jam jar needs to be tossed. There's like not enough for a sandwich, right? And I was like, what goes with it? And I pulled from here, right? Sour cherry juice is delicious. And also a really great element for a sour. Next, let's talk about bitter or aromatics. This is where we really make a complex drink, right? Where the flavors really become this is a handcrafted beverage. And so I'm gonna walk through these with you. Uh, so we have things like mint, rosemary, thyme, basil. All of those are really beautiful flavors to add to any drink. We have things like sea salt. I would like to spend just a moment on the sea salt. Not to rabbit trail too much, but sea salt has a lot of minerals in it, which creates hydration. So most of us, we drink water that doesn't actually replenish or hydrate us. It flushes us. The reason for this is that most city water, it filters out all of the minerals that that water once contained. And those minerals are not put back in before it comes to your faucet. We see the same thing in any bottled water you buy. Very few bottled waters actually have minerals added back into them. So when we think like, oh, I'm going to drink this water, I need to stay hydrated, the water is flushing you unless you are adding minerals back in it to replenish what you're like sweating out. And if you live in a climate like I do, where I just like sweat my ass off every time I walk out of my house, it's really important to make sure that you're getting those minerals in. So when I say like sea salt, I mean like two little flakes in your drink. We don't want your drink to taste salty, but salt is a flavor enhancer, meaning whatever you already have in your cup, it's going to make those flavors a little more prominent. So I recommend adding a teeny tiny bit of sea salt in almost everything you drink.
I'm just going to
Um,
jump in. You're the one who has me putting a little pinch of salt in my coffee before it
mm.
brews.
I
Yeah,
love this.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I think of you every morning.
Amazing. The other things you can add is I like things to be a bit spicy. So a little slice of jalapeno, a little slice of serrano pepper. The drink I have here has a little rim of chili powder around the top. So it just adds a little spice to the sweetness that's in the drink, which creates the balance, right? And what makes a good mocktail is the balance.
Uh-huh.
Ginger is another incredible way to balance a drink. So if you have any of these items in your refrigerator, look and see what tastes sour to me, what has a little bitterness or a little flair to it, right? It can be anything. I want you to look at these and have them spark ideas in your mind. It doesn't have to be this. Be creative with what you have already happening in your fridge, in your spice drawer, whatever's going on there. Next, I'd really like to share with you some of my ideas around zero waste and things that I do to create mocktails to use every piece of what I have. So, can you see
Beautiful.
now? All right. Well, a little humor.
Yeah,
Great.
hey, that's life.
See you, Warren.
Life in the techno world.
Okay.
Moving
Um,
on.
okay, so I like to take the zest off of my fruit. And um, a great way to do this is to just take the top layer. You don't want to get the white. The white is known as the pith, and the pith is very bitter. So if you get your fruit, wash it. I always wash my fruit in vinegar and baking soda. It's the best way to really cleanse it. Wash that fruit, take just the top layer off of it, and you're going to use that to make a tea or even a cold brew with later in the day. I save all my cores, apple cores, pineapple cores, any core of your fruit, save it. You're going to throw all your peels, all your cores into a jar. You're going to add your spice, you're going to add your sweetener, and you're going to pour some warm water on it. You're going to top it off with room temperature water. You're going to put it in the refrigerator overnight. Now you already have a base tomorrow morning using things you would have thrown away, and it's going to be delicious, ladies. You're going to love it. If you have some green tea bags at home, if you have black tea bags at home, put that in the jar with it. Anything you can do to make that flavor really intense is best. Because the next day you're going to pull that out of the fridge, you're going to strain it, and then you're going to make your cocktail with it. And it's really easy. So, some staples that I like to keep in my house are Topo Chico. We drink a lot of Topo Chico in my house, and
And
coconut water.
can you just say what Topo Chico is for those who are not here in Mexico drinking it by the gallon like we are?
So it's any kind of sparkling water, just a plain sparkling water, unsweetened sparkling water, right? Um,
And
and then
here they identify it as mineral water. I don't know
yes,
if those terms are interchangeable, but it speaks to your talking earlier about having minerals in our drinking water.
absolutely. Topo Chico does not have minerals in it though. It's slightly deceptive. Um, but yes. You could also use like a La Croix if you like La Croix or any kind of like bubbly drink. You can use those too if that's what you have in your refrigerator. Um, a couple of things to note is that the more intense you can get that flavor of your tea, the better. So always start with hot water because hot water will, in the coffee world, we call hot water will allow it to bloom. Bloom releases all the flavors and vitamins that are happening inside of whatever you put in the jar. So you're going to start with hot water and then you're going to top it off with room temperature water and then you'll refrigerate it overnight. So the next day you can drop this in a shaker with some ice, add some coconut water, shake it up, pour it over ice. It's delicious, right? Garnish it with a lime wheel, garnish it with a little mint sprig, whatever you want to make it look beautiful and so forth. One thing that I do to prepare because I love having little mocktails all throughout the day is I always have a jar of something in my refrigerator. Because Jamaica is so easily accessible here, I always have a jar of pre-made Jamaica in my fridge. And don't be afraid to also put like a slice of orange or a slice of lemon or whatever you're also using those rinds from as well, the peels from, right? That will bring in even more flavors for you. And then the other thing, I'm just going to go ahead and stop sharing here. The
Yeah.
other thing that I also keep in my home that if you want to make a little investment is a lime press. Maybe you already have them. I use lots of limes. Lime is a disinfectant. Lime will also clean things out of your gut. So I did not share. I don't know if somebody else is sharing.
There's someone here under your name that's not you.
Oh,
Therese, are you registered
maybe.
only once? I mean, yeah, okay. I think we're
Um,
good.
cool. So invest in a lime press. It's going to be your best friend. If you have a frother, those come in handy when you are adding things like honey or agave or any kind of like more syrup-based sweeteners. What you don't want to do is just leave it sit on the bottom of the cup with your juices because then it's all the way in the bottom when you're drinking and it's not balanced. So like today I made this strawberry coconut margarita. I started with lime juice and I normally add honey, but I made a ginger syrup last night. So I did a little bit of the ginger syrup and then I used my frother to mix that base before I added my strawberry and coconut to it, right? Because then it all blends. So a little frother is great. A lime press is going to be your best friend. And those are the things that I use to have mocktails and to create something that's very balanced and delicious and zero waste. There's so much flavor in all these peels that we have and ends of things that we cut off. They can make delicious teas, delicious little mocktails if you just mix them with stuff.
It sounds a little bit like Picasso meets Einstein. There's a little mad scientist and creativity.
Yeah.
And what I'm hearing is that you're always thinking one step ahead. Like,
Yes.
okay, I'm gonna peel these citrus and I'm gonna just hang on to them.
Yes.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with them,
Yeah.
but it's gonna be something.
Yes.
And so you're always one step ahead of yourself in anticipation of your next delicious sip.
Yeah. Yeah, and it really is like, okay, it's in a jar. I'll worry about that later tonight when I'm gonna like add it and let it marinate. And then I open the refrigerator. Okay, what spices do I have? All right, what's my sweet here? Let's put all these in here and then let it marinate tonight, right?
Yeah. Well, you've
Um,
given us really some like these super basic elements, the sweet, the sour, and the aromatic.
mhm.
I mean, if you just keep that kind of in the back of your mind, then as you go through your day preparing food, it's like, huh,
Yeah,
maybe that's and just
yeah.
pack it away for tomorrow when otherwise you might toss it.
Absolutely. The other thing that I use is cucumber peels. So if you're peeling a cucumber and you're gonna trash them, that's a delicious way to freshen up a drink. Yeah. And as a side note, if trying to come up with all this yourself feels overwhelming, I do have a recipe book where I put all of my favorites in there. It is based on zero waste, um, all natural ingredients, and I teach you how to make a base and then make 4 cocktails or mocktails from that base, zero proof drinks from that base. And there's 20 recipes in there. So if you're interested in taking a look at those, I can share a QR code with you. I'm a little nervous to share my screen again. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but that's
Yeah.
available too if you'd like to check it out.
Well, if you have a link also associated with that QR, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
we can keep that
great,
in the show notes. Absolutely.
great, great.
Absolutely. And I just have to shout out one thing that I was an early adopter of
Yeah,
said recipe book, and each recipe has a song suggestion.
yes,
So
yes.
as you're sipping away, it's like, oh, this is the perfect tune.
Yes, there's a song to listen to while you're making your mocktail while you're drinking it. There's some fun little bar banter, little jokes with every recipe, which is also fun.
Mhm.
And I also have a whole cold brew book. And in the cold brew book, there's a link to a video where you watch me make the cold brew. So, all of them are a little different. They're all fun. They're all meant to spark curiosity. They're all meant to help people who are trying to have less alcohol in their life to experiment with what they already have in their refrigerator so you don't do what I did and buy like 15 ingredients that sit on your countertop
Mhm.
and you just look at them and you're like, oh yeah, that.
You end up dusting them.
You
Mhm.
end up dusting them. That's exactly right.
And I
So
do that with
Teresa,
food ingredients. I do
Yes.
that exact same thing. I buy all this stuff for an involved recipe, and then the recipe, I mean, it doesn't come out right, but I got all these ingredients left. So yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And I
Yeah.
was going to ask if you could try sharing one of those, those last couple slides so people can
Yes.
get a better look at them. We'll see if it works this time. I so apologize for that.
No, that's
I
okay.
really didn't know what was happening there, but so many good ideas. It was just, I throw away things all the time, and now I'm feeling guilty about it. When
Yeah,
you
now
just
you
said
just
we don't
have,
have to.
yeah, now you just have more ideas as to what to do with them, right?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
now
I
you can
So,
feel
know.
more purposeful in
Right,
saving them.
right.
yeah.
Love it. And on these three categories, is there, and you said make it balance. Like, how do we know if it's too bitter? I mean, I just by taste, I would guess, is all you're going by.
Yeah, everybody's gonna like things a little different. We all taste things different. I think Diane can probably attest to this when we do my coffee events. Like some people think one certain coffee tastes like nuts and chocolate, and somebody else is like, it tastes like dirt, right? Like,
Mm.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
And Erin, you and I have this experience a lot where you're
we
like,
do.
oh, I love this. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
I'll try everything.
yeah,
But we have different palates. Now, one of the things I was at a coffee event here with Erin, and I can't remember what the other ingredient was in the coffee, but one was a little slice or two of Serrano chili. In 100 years, I wouldn't think to put chilies in my coffee. It was fabulous.
so good.
So good. So sometimes you just have to say, what the hell, and try something that your mind says, oh, this would never work. But your palate's like, ooh, like this.
Yeah. And I think the beauty of being curious with this is you're using stuff you probably would have tossed, right? So you're not,
Hmm.
there's not a big
Hmm.
investment in it. It's like, okay, let's just give it a try and see what happens. And you might just find your next favorite drink for the summer. You might say
If you
like,
don't, it was going to be in the trash
and
anyway.
the
So
trash.
Right. Good
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
Yeah, I love all these ideas. Thank you so much.
of course.
And thanks for running those through again.
yeah, that
Yeah, for
was
sure. Oh, one other thing that I wanted to share is, excuse me. So these are our three elements. When you're making your teas and you're making them like very concentrated, you probably want to have a base. And your base is either going to be water. So you're going to take your tea and you're going to add water to it. Your base can be Topo Chico or sparkling water. The other one that I use is coconut water. And that will make your concentrate tea last longer because it's going to be very intense in flavor. And so you want to add it to the base.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
oh, that's fun to just imagine. And I know you're so good about making syrups
Yeah.
and but you rightly point out if there's just one you like and you're not a kitchen gal or guy,
Yeah.
just buy it.
Just
Buy
buy
the
it.
same thing that they would give you at a coffee shop with a pump. Just go buy the bottle.
Absolutely. Like do what makes your life easy, right?
Mm.
At the end of the day. And maybe after you use that bottle of syrup, you'll be like, wonder how I could make that. And you'll look in your fridge and say, well, I have some pineapple, I have some rosemary. Let's see what that tastes like.
I love that. I love that
Yeah.
a curiosity, that experimenting type of a mentality, and I love the empty jar idea. Like when you empty out a jar or something,
Yep.
fill it up and make a mocktail out of it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
And
could
it's
see
so
you, Aaron, do
simple.
it, or either one of you doing it with like pickle juice or
Oh, that I don't know.
Absolutely. For the sour, like when we're looking for sour things, olive juice, pickle juice.
Really?
Have you never had a martini? Do you like martinis? Like, why wouldn't this be also be good in a mocktail?
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
interesting perspective.
Yeah, it gives
I
me a
might
new
not make that
perspective.
the dominant flavor, right? We might use a tiny bit of that to offset the sweetness,
Mhm.
but why not? Try all of it.
Mm, wow.
One of the things that I have learned or observed is that everything tastes better in a pretty glass.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is very true.
And
Yeah.
so when you're, I am making the choice to drink less. I do love a cocktail. I love a nice glass of wine, but I just don't want it like I used to.
Hmm.
But I still love martini glasses. And so
Hmm.
sometimes if I'm out, I'll say, "Can I have this?" Blah, 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 but put it in a martini glass.
Yeah.
And because it feels,
Yes, it
elegant
does.
and sexy
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Love drinking anything from a fancier glass than normal.
For sure.
Well, Erin, are there any little tidbits you want to leave us with?
I want to inspire everybody here to just be curious with what you have. Um, Play with flavor combinations. If you like things more sweet or less sweet, make it however you like it. If the recipe calls for lemons and you only have limes, use limes. If the recipe calls for lemons and you don't have lemons or limes, but you have a grapefruit, use a grapefruit. Like, be curious and find new things that you like. Um, it's fun. Have fun with it. Life is meant to be fun and to create joy. And if making fun drinks brings joy to you, then I want to inspire you to be curious about just whatever you have and to enjoy the process.
Hmm.
That's
For
awesome.
sure.
Yeah.
Um, we will have your link in the show notes.
Okay.
Is there, are there other ways you'd like people to connect with you, follow you? What might those be?
You can connect with me on Instagram at Neffing Around the World. My last name is Neff, so it's Neffing Around the World. Or if you want to watch me make all of my mocktails and cold brew concoctions, you can follow me on TikTok at the Effortless Mocktail.
Great.
Cool. We will put those in the notes as well.
Hmm.
Awesome.
Thank you
Well,
for riding with us, everyone, through our graffiti artist and most importantly, Erin's amazing presentation.
That was
We are so
great.
appreciative of your time, whether you're, here with us live or watching the recording. We invite you to drop your questions or thoughts in the comments. And by the way, if you haven't yet joined Thrive Park, which is our online community where women over 50 go to grow, glow, and connect, we'll pop that link below too. So thanks again for being here and bye for now.
thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Erin.